Alright, hello everybody. Now this is the graphs worksheet that we're going to work on. I'm going to do even extra questions that are not even there in your worksheet yet. So I've already drawn this graph. It's a cubic function. Alright, so I've input all the values in and I've drawn the graph, and directly I'm going to go to answering the questions. So the first question says that by drawing a suitable line, solve the equation x squared or x cubed minus 3x plus 2 equals to x plus 1. So you look at, again, as I said last time, you look at the left-hand side and then you compare it to your curve. It's actually the same as the curve. Therefore, the right-hand side becomes your straight line. So you're going to draw the straight line y equals to x plus 1. And to draw that straight line, that's why it's a 3 marks question, you form a table. You put any values of x, such as minus 1 and 0. So when x is equal to minus 1, y is equal to 0. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. Simple substitution in this equation here. So minus 1 and 0, and I'm going to plot it with blue here. Minus 1 and 0 is here. 0 and 1 is over here. So you take your ruler, you draw your straight line, and your straight line is going to intersect, because we have two solutions, it's going to intersect at 2 points. So I'm going to draw the straight line all over here. Now, after drawing the straight line, you take your answers from the points of intersection. So you have your first point of intersection here. So you go and find your answer over here. So this is going to be your first answer. And the second point of intersection is over here. And this is your second answer, is going to be somewhere over here. Then you take your ruler away. And then the first answer is going to be approximately 0.5, but I'm not going to say 0.5, I'm going to say 0.45. All right, which is this value down here. The second answer is 2.9. It seems as a 2.9, or yeah, 2.9. Not 2.9 actually, it's 1.9. My fault. All right. So 1.9, and I think it's a 1.95 because each increment goes by 0.05. So this is 1.75, 1.8, 859, 95. So this is a 95 because each box is a 0.05. Okay. In these questions of tangents, I think we've done a lot of questions in class. Okay, but I'm going to do one question just to remind you. So at x equals to negative 1.5, so you go, the point x equals to negative 1.5 is over here. You have to draw a tangent. So again, you take your ruler and have your ruler approach this line here. Okay, so you draw a very accurate tangent, and I'm going to draw my tangent in black. Okay, so this is going to be my tangent. Okay, after drawing the tangent, you got to find the gradient of the tangent. So you take this as a first point, and you can take any other second point. Let's take this one as a second point. So let's take this as A and this is B. So A is negative 1.5. I'm just going to take it from the graph, and 3.125. So negative 1.5 and 3.125. That's why it's a 3 marks question. The second point is negative 1 and 4.5. Negative 1 and 4.5, which is point B. Then you find the gradient, y2 minus y1, so 4.5 minus 3.125, and minus 1 minus negative 1.5. And then I'm just going to take my calculator. 4.5 minus 3.125 divided by negative 1 plus 1.5, because minus and minus are plus, And this is going to give me 2.75, and 2.75 is my answer for this question. Done. Moving on, again, I plotted this already. I used my calculator, then I plotted the graph, and then I'm going to answer the question. So solve f of x equals to 2. So you're going to, f of x is your graph, that's your straight line, so y equals to 2. So you're going to take your ruler again with a blue line to make it more visible. Y equals to 2 is this line over here. Then you're going to find where the line intersects with your graph. It intersects at this point exactly, so you can go, and this is going to be your answer somewhere over here. If this is my answer, this is around 0.6 or 0.55. You don't need to be very accurate here, so I'm just going to take it as 0.6. After that, solve f of x equals to 2x plus 3. So you got to draw the line y equals to 2x plus 3. That's why it's a 3 marks. Again, every time you want to draw the line, you have to make an x and a y. Choose suitable x values. So I'm going to choose 0 and 1. Easiest value. So when 0 is 3, when 1 is 5. So 0 goes with 3, and 1 goes with 5. So 1 goes with 5 is over here. Then you're going to take your ruler and join these points together. Okay, so it's something like that. And this is going to be your line, and I'm going to use green. Okay, and there is a point of intersection. So if we went towards the point of intersection, it's this point. Then we're going to track it down and find the x coordinate, which is going to be something over here. So this is going to be 0.45, okay? Because it's exactly in the middle, so it's 0.123445. Okay, so this is your answer for this question. It's a 0.45. Let me go back to red. Okay, now draw the tangent and use the tangent to estimate the gradient. So I'm just going to skip this question of a tangent. Okay, so any question of a tangent, I think is the same. You just draw the tangent, find 2 points, and that's it. The next question is, again, I drew this graph already, and it's a graph of x squared minus 1 over x minus 4. And I'm going to go down to answer the questions. Use your graph to solve f of x equals to 0. So you're going to see the line y equals to 0, and the line y equals to 0 is the x-axis. So you have to find where the graph intersects with the x-axis. So it intersects at 3 points. So this is your first point here. 1 point, negative 1.678. Okay, so approximately negative 1.8 is the first point of intersection. The second point of intersection is negative 0.2 over here. Let me write them down so that I don't forget. Negative 1.8, negative 0.2, and the third point is I'll say 2.2. Okay, so this is the point that I'm looking for. It's a 2.2. Find an integer value where the graph has one solution. So remember, one solution is where the point of intersection, you draw a line that intersects at one point. So if you remember, we talked about this in class, and it's all about turning points. So if I went above, it has 3 solutions. Exactly at the turning point, it's 2 solutions. Below the turning point, it's 1 solution. So you can take any integer value, so negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, any value of these. So I'm going to take negative 3 in that case. All right, so negative 3 is going to be my value of k. So by drawing a suitable straight line, solve the equation f of x plus 2 equals to negative 5x. So you got to make f of x the subject. So f of x equals to negative 5x minus 2. Again, you got to draw that line. Remember, 4 marks, very easy marks. You do this, x, you take any values of x. I'm going to take negative 1 and 0. Okay, again, I like taking 0 because it's easy. Negative 1 and 0. So when this is -1, that's a 5. 5 minus 2 is a 3. 0, that would give you a -2. So -1 with 3 and 0 with -2. -1 goes with 3 over here, and 0 goes with -2. Take your ruler again and draw the line, join the points together. Okay, just wait, let me just align it, and it's aligned, and then this is going to be my sorry, my line. So again, my point of intersection, the first one is here. So I track the answer. That's going to give me approximately 0.1225. Again, I'm going to take the answer from the x-axis. So the first answer is -0.25. Okay, let me just write it here so that I don't forget. The second answer is the second point of intersection. Back to my ruler. Second point of intersection is here. Let me zoom in a little bit, and this is my second point of intersection. So according to this, it's gonna give me an answer here, which is 0.123456, approximately 0.7, and so -0.25 and 0.7, 4 marks. Question 2, f of x plus 2 equals to -5x can be written like that. It's just all about rearranging. You got to go back to f of x. And f of x here is x squared minus 1 over x minus 4. X squared minus 1 over x minus 4 plus 2 equals to -5x. Let's simplify these two first. So x squared minus 1 over x minus 2, that's a 5x. That's a 5x. Plus 5x equals to 0. Then multiply everything by x. Okay? Let me just go back to the square brackets. So multiply everything by x. Okay, let me go to object eraser rather than pixel. So it's going to give me x to the power of 3. X to the power of 3 minus 1 minus 2x plus 5x squared equals to 0. Let me just rearrange. X to the power of 3 plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 1 equals to 0. This is A and this is B, so the answer is 5 and minus 2. Okay? Let's continue. So going to this question, I'm going to skip that. I'm skipping it. Okay. Again, I drew this already. So 1 minus 2 over x squared. It's a symmetrical graph. Okay, so on the grid, draw the graph y equals to -x minus 1. So if you want to draw the straight line, y equals to -x minus 1, again, you take values of x. I'm going to take 3 values, -1, 0, and 1. Y is 0, -1, and when it's 1, it's -2. So -1 with 0, -1 with 0, blue, -1 with 0. 0 with -1, and finally 1 with -2 is here. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a straight line. So let me get my ruler, align them together. Where did it go? Okay, it disappeared, but I brought it back. Okay, so that's my straight line, like that. So I'm gonna find, then they asked me to solve it, so one solution only, and solving it is just finding the point of intersection, because this is the straight line that I already drew. So I'm gonna go back, find the point of intersection here. So the point of intersection is over here, so you track it to this position. So 0.2468, 0.9 is your answer. This is the value of x, which is 0.9. Okay, the equation can be written as, that's the same idea as last time, so you have to multiply everything by x squared this time, so it's going to give you x squared minus 2 equals to negative x to the power of 3 minus x squared. Putting everything, rearranging x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared minus 2 equals to 0. Comparing it, p is equal to 2, q is equal to negative 2. All right, moving on. The graph of 1 minus 2 over x squared cuts the positive x-axis at A. B is the point 0 and negative 2. Let's write the coordinates of A. So the coordinates of A are the x-intercepts. So let's go and find the x-intercepts. All right, wait. Positive x-axis. So positive x-axis, it cuts it over here. So A can be, I'm just going to make it as 1.2, 1.4, 1.5. 1.5, so it's 1.5 and 0. All right, and the point B is 0 and negative 2. So let's go to point B. Point B is 0 and negative 2. Let me use a different color. So this is point A, and this is point B. Okay, this is A and this is B. Now, if we want to... Okay, what's the next question? Hold on. On the grid, draw the straight line that passes through AB. That's very simple. Complete the statement. The straight line A that passes through A and B is a dash at point dash. Okay, let's draw it. AB. Ruler. And this is A. This is B. Okay, what do you think about line AB? I think it's a tangent at the point A. Okay, so it's a tangent. Line AB is a tangent. Is a tangent at the point A. Okay? So, moving on to the next question here. Okay, nice cup of coffee. All right, now listen to me. Again, I already drew this. It's a cubic function. Let's go to answering the question. So use your graph to solve. Again, this is my function. That's my straight line. So my straight line is the x-axis. So where does my graph cuts the x-axis? It cuts it at 3 points. This is the first point. So here, each one is 0.1. So that's a 0.85. Let me write it down. Negative 0.85. That's the first point of intersection here. Then 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.35. So 1.35 is the second answer. Third answer is 2.5. Okay, so these are my three answers. Negative 0.85, 1.35, negative 0.85, 1.35, and a 2.5. Over here, the second question is, you look at this. This is not the same as your graph because there is an extra x over here that you don't need. So you're going to take it to the other side. So it becomes x cubed over 3 minus x squared plus 1 equals to negative x. Now, if your left-hand side is the same as the graph, the right-hand side is going to be the straight line. So your straight line is y equals to negative x. So if you want to draw the line y equals to negative x, it's very simple. So it's just 1 goes with negative 1, 0, like that. That's the line y equals to negative x, and I'm going to use blue here. It's a 45 degrees line. Okay, and again, it intersects at this point. Solutions are points of intersections, everybody. So it's this point here. So 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0.55, and it's on the negative section. So negative 0.55. Two tangents can be drawn parallel to the x-axis. Write down the equations of these tangents. Parallel to the x-axis means that they're horizontal tangents, and horizontal tangents are found at the turning point. So you got to find equations of the tangent. So at the turning point, so this is the first turning point over here, and this is the second turning point over here. So the first turning point acts in this. So this is the tangent. So the tangent is going to be y equals to 1. Okay, because you take it from the y-axis. So y equals to 1 is the first equation of the tangent. The second one is 0.1, 2, 3, 0.35, negative 0.35, something like that. That's the second point. So y equals to 1, y equals to negative 0.35. From 0 to 3, write down the smallest possible value of y, which is the same answer that we got from here, because the smallest possible value of y from 0 to 3 is this value in blue. That's the smallest value of y, which is again the second tangent, so it's negative 0.35. Okay, one more question. All right, moving on. Again, I drew this already. Used my calculator to fill the table. So let's go. By drawing a suitable tangent, again, I'm skipping that question of a tangent, and I'm going to this. The equation x squared minus 2x plus 12 over x, and that's my curve, equals to k, has two distinct solutions. Find the value of k. Remember, solutions are at the turning points, and the turning point is over here. I'm going to just indicate it with blue. Okay, that's your turning point. It has two solutions. Why? Because if you put this here, over here, these are two solutions. It intersects once, it intersects twice on the other side. And this value is where y is equal to. So when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 6. That's exactly y equals to 6. All right? So this line, y equals to 6, has two solutions. That's why we say the value of k is 6. And the solutions of this, let me go back and draw it then. So the solutions of this are, going back here, if I drew it, it intersects at 2, and the second point of intersection is over here, and that point is going to be here. So this is 2.4, negative 2.4. Okay, so negative 2.4 and 2 are your answers for this. The equation x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 can be solved by drawing the line y equals to 3x plus 1. On the grid, find the values of a, b, and c. Okay. So I'm going to take my graph again. My graph, which is, I know it from here, which is x squared minus 2x plus 12 over x. X squared minus 2x plus 12 over x. That's my graph. Equals to the straight line, which is 3x plus 1. After that, I'm going to take the 3x and the 1 to the other side. So x squared minus 5x plus 12 over x minus 1 equals to 0. Then I'm going to multiply everything by x. x to the power of 3 minus 5x squared plus 12 minus x equals to 0. Let me just rearrange again. X to the power of 3, 5x squared minus x plus 12 equals to 0. So a is minus 5, b is minus 1, and c is 12. Minus 5, minus 1, and 12. These are my values for A, B, and C. All right.